Dzień dobry and welcome again to another episode of Mango Daddy Kitchen. First of all, happy Easter. We're in the Easter season now, and on that note we're gonna make something traditional Maltese that it's loved by kids, and it's made by every household mainly for Easter, which is the Maltese Figolli. What is a Figolli? So if we have to explain in Polish, we would say something around Maltańskie, ciasteczka, wielkanocne, migdałową, to better understand what we're talking about. So these are these almond filled shapes. You have various shapes and they're all decorated nicely, and they are given on Easter mainly for the kids, but they are delicious and everyone loves them. So for these kind of figolli or pastries you need some special forms, and we have here some very old ones that I took from my mom, like for example these tin shapes, so we can cut the shapes for so they're giant cookie cutters basically. This is a butterfly. This is rather new, it's a heart, a lamb. Now very old ones, we have the mermaid or a pigeon. These are very old. Anyway, I'm not gonna show them all for now. So with that, let's start. So basically we need the dough and the filling. We start with the dough because we need it to let her rest for a bit. So we throw in around 800 grams of sieved flour, the sugar, 300 grams, the butter, margarine, 300 grams margarine too, and the rind of a lemon. And like 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we start the noise. Now we add 4 eggs, and we might even need to add a little extra water to make the dough malleable. So I didn't need any more water. The dough is ready. It's nice. It's worked out nice. Now we need to leave it a bit to rest after all that working. Cover it in stretch and seal and leave it for around 15 minutes in the fridge. The reason we leave it in the fridge to solidify a bit, not only to rest, because then when it comes to working out and opening it will break up. So if it's a bit harder, it's better. So now it's time for the filling. I change hook. So we'll need around 270 grams of ground almonds or almond substitutes if you manage to find here in Poland. I always go with almond substitute better than the ground almond because it has a bit more taste and it's cheaper. 150 grams custard sugar, 100 grams sugar drobny, icing sugar, again some vanilla essence, around 1 teaspoon, a teaspoon rind of a lemon, but I'm not gonna use teaspoon rind, I'm gonna use some essence instead. And 1 egg. Mix everything together and you should have this pastry consistency. It's a bit dry, I'm gonna add it a little touch of water. Okay, we got the desired consistency. So you can see it better, I show it through. Paste-like consistency is perfect. So the almond paste is the traditional way, but there are other methods. One I'm gonna use to it's with dates. You fill it up with blended dates. I'm gonna show you how to do one in the next one. Not only, if you don't want to use dates or you don't like the almond paste, you could go more like with chocolate, like the chocolate paste, the famous chocolate paste you could do, or pistachio paste. It's getting a bit involved. Actually, you can do any filling you like then, as long as it's thin and it's not too much. But they won't be the traditional way. So we'll keep with the almond and the dates one. So for the dates, we just blend them dry and then we add some hot water to soften them up. And you'll get your paste for the Figolli as a date paste. A bit of hot water. That would be your date filling. So one thing we need is dishes for the Figolli to put on. We put and we arrange the oven here. I have it arranged already for 170 degrees to preheat. And so I don't forget, Figolli take around 20 minutes, give or take, again depending on the oven, to be done. You will know when they're done because they start getting reddish from the sides. So I get the pastry. I'm gonna start by making half of it. Now when you open the dough, you have two options, depends how you like it. Either you make a thick dough around 1 centimeter, more like 0.5 centimeters, or a little less. I like the little less because I don't like it too thick. Let's start with a bell. Wait that. Name. Let's see, we have a place for 2 fishes. We have 4 fishes. 1 fish, because you need 2 sides for each figolla. Let's move the bell. That's 1. The fish. You have to be very careful when handling them because they're quite delicate. A brush and some water for the sides. With this filling of the almond. And we spread it evenly on one of each surface. Just leave an edge so we can close it with the other half. The fish is a bit more trickier because it's quite slim. Now, as I said, we dip the edge with some water. Now we put the other half on top of it. Be careful to match both sides. And you pat the sides a little bit with your finger, like I'm doing here. Don't know if you can see from the camera here, I think it should be visible, not just my head. As is, we'll put it in the oven for 20 minutes, as I said, or until you see that they are reddish on the sides. You continue with all the dough until it's finished, and you have most probably around 6 figolli with the amount I'm using. So the figolli are ready. Let's check them out. Yes. Here they are. We had a bit of a accident. The fish bloated a bit too much with the bell, but you can see the reddish I was saying from the sides. We will fix it, don't worry. Now you have to leave them to cool down as much as possible, because at this stage they are quite easily to break. I will leave them here and they will cool down. Once they cool down, we start the process of decorating them. Okay, so after I baked, a couple of days passed and a few went missing too. I baked more, so we still have a lot to do. So I picked up a couple because now it's time for the decorations. Usually they are decorated with icing on top and a chocolate egg, but I find that it's lots of icing and it's already sweet and unhealthy how it is. So I prefer, usually I prefer to cover them with chocolate and put as little icing as possible. Of course, I use the ones that you just heat, so they melt a bit and put, so I don't like to play around with the decorations. Let's make the butterfly yellow. So let's take the chocolate now. You have the heart. Let's do it with chocolate too. Now while they're fresh, you can put some sprinkles to make it quick. For the kid it would be fun to decorate. Make some sort of waves because it's a sheep. What else? Sometimes the tubes get hard, like you saw. I dunk them in the hot water to get them soft again, so they will be a bit acceptable to work. No, this one is finished. And that's that. The figolli now are ready to be enjoyed by the kids and adults for the Easter, which is next week now. So I hope you liked this traditional Maltese recipe that is Figolli, and I hope that you will try to make it. Please like and subscribe. As per usual, please share this video so I can continue to make more videos. Thank you, and we'll meet again next week. For now, see you and happy Easter.